Hi, everybody. I'm Nina Boski, and I have a special guest with us this week. We're going to shake things up just a little bit. He is a wonderful singer, songwriter, producer, healer, coach, all around great guy, family man, and very deep soul. I'm so honored to have Ben Thomas with us today. Ben Thomas is in the house. I love it.
Oh, thank you for the intro, Nina. That makes me
Well,
feel good.
on our mental health Mondays, a lot of times they're pretty serious. We've been talking about serious topics, from suicide to, mental health and COVID. And, sometimes we don't have the words, but we have the music. And music is universal. Music connects us. And, what do you, because you and I have traveled in the same types of circles, and in your music, what do you find helps people the most when they hear you particularly? And by the way,
Yeah.
guys, we get a chance to listen to a song that he's going to play, especially for us today. So I'm very excited.
Thanks, Nina. I'll speak on two levels. One, music in general. For me, obviously, as a music lover and an artist, I think it's something that transcends our thinking minds. I think we get trapped here a lot, right? And when we hear music, and really all art, in my opinion, has this ability to sort of transcend that thinking mind and put us into touch with our true selves and with our things that are in here that are more actually real than what we think is real. And it also has the potential to put us in touch with healing, and I think that there's just amazing things that can happen through engaging with music and art. And so that's on a general level. And then for me in particular, I would say that's my goal. My hope is always that's how people are connecting, and the people that I have the deepest connections with musically, and who express that to me, that's usually, it goes somewhere along those lines. They feel something that makes them feel something. It's something that kind of wakes them up in some way.
And Ben, I was going to just have a talented musical artist on. I wanted to have a musical artist on that does touch people in the music, that allows them to feel, but allows to feel from a soul place versus just, I love this beat, or I love the words of the music, etc. So, how did you kind of transition from, general music to, I'm going to have music with a purpose, so to speak?
Yeah, totally. Well, little background, my career as a singer-songwriter, I've been making music for 15, 20 years. I just released my fifth album in the fall of last year. Simultaneous to that, I spent a lot of time in spiritual circles. I worked in the church for a long time. I was a pastor for 15 years. I always had a keen sense of awareness in me that there's something bigger than us out there, and also that music and art could put us somehow into contact with it. And in church circles, a lot of times, music and art gets kind of bastardized a little bit, and becomes a commodity as a vehicle to get somebody to think something or believe something the way that we do or something. That's a kind of common thing that happens. And I saw that, and it just didn't sit right with me. And so that's when a lot of my sort of spiritual expansion became in those moments. And along with it came how me as an artist developing my own craft and art kind of went alongside. And so started venturing outside of those circles and making different types of music for more people and connecting and experimenting with ways, for me as also a music lover, some of my favorite moments are at shows when I'm with an artist and I really can feel the artist truly like present with me, not just like reading lyrics and repeating. It's like they're with me, and I have a keen sense that it's a special moment that is happening in that space that will never happen again. So I became just more aware of that and trying to infuse that really into any musical experience that I create, whether it's something I'm producing for myself or someone else, or I'm writing, or it's a live experience and gathering people together in a room
And
which
that's what
remember
I
when
got a
we used to do
chance.
that?
Yeah, and I got a chance to experience it that way. And today
Yeah.
it's just us two here, and the
Hmm.
rest of the world is going to listen in, etc. But one of the things that we were talking about, and obviously the podcast is about Marilyn Monroe, and Marilyn
Hmm.
was a big music lover, and it's a very famous story, but one of the stories goes is that Ella Fitzgerald, the great musical artist, was not going to be allowed to play at one of the nightclubs here in Los Angeles back in the day. And, she told the owner that she would come and be front row, or at least front and center, and if he would allow her to play. And he did, and she came. And even though I don't think she's solely responsible for Ella's career, because there was somebody else, a specific individual that was,
Hmm.
she certainly helped it. And music was certainly in her blood. Frank Sinatra was one of her favorite people, along with Dean Martin.
Hmm.
And I'm sure if Gary Vitacco Robles was with us right now, he would be telling, oh, and she loved this music and this music and this music. However, for today, because we're in the midst of COVID, we're in the midst of a lot of divide in this country, at least in the United States. I can't speak for the world, but the world is COVID. But here in the United States, there's a big divide. And one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on is that music for me soothes my soul.
Hmm.
And in the mornings, I listen to spiritual music. I've listened to your music. I've listened to a lot of people that just get me into that heart chakra that allows me to connect. And I would love it, Ben, if you could play a song for us. So what song are
Totally.
you gonna play for us?
This song is actually called "What If Music Could Heal." And it's so
Woo!
coincidental and like synchronistic that we get to talk about this stuff and I get to play this because I literally just shared the song last week. I've been traveling a lot with my family and making songs like in spaces like in an RV on the road. And so this one, I was up in northern Washington and made this a couple weeks ago. And I just shared the song this week. And and one of the things I really appreciate about what you're doing, telling the story of Marilyn Monroe, and in the podcast where you guys are discussing it and bringing to light mental health issues and wellness, and somebody who like it's easy to write them off as like distant or like you guys are humanizing her story, right? That's
Yes,
literally what you
yes.
guys are doing. And where this song came from is just my heart, which is seeing the capacity that music can actually connect people because it humanizes us. Whenever we tell our stories, we move past the label. Whenever we tell our stories, we have the capacity to like see someone else and we can listen to someone else and engage with them. And then music is this art form that connects at this deeper level that goes even just a little bit beyond just the verbal words. And so I always have this thought that music, like I just think we sometimes just miss the point when we show up and treat it like a commodity or we just like use it for this and that. Like slow down for a minute and listen and connect and as a listener. And then I think we all have something creative to say. And so if, for those who are listening right now, if you're an artist or you're someone who has a story, a song, you have a song in you. And one of the things I get to do on a regular basis is help new songwriters produce their music and be heard and all those things. And it's the most amazing thing. I feel like I get to be like a doctor at a delivery room doing that. And so,
So needed, because it does soothe the soul, whether you're singing in your shower or you're taking it to somebody like you and helping you find your voice, right?
yeah, totally. So enough of me blabbing. I'm going to let the music do the speaking. And it's a real simple song. I kind of wanted to sit down and write a really traditional folk song. Let me turn my fan off. Hold on.
Okay.
There we
Oh,
go.
fun.
And I'll probably botch it up a bunch. But real raw.
Nah.
What if music could heal our world, could heal our hearts connected by a common string where we can hang all our uncertainty, our wounds, our vulnerability, declaring we have nothing left to lose or gain, all with music, sweet music that heals.
Ooh.
What if music could heal the gaps that keep us separate on our isolated islands of pain? And we could tell our stories through our failures and our glories, right the wrongs through songs that speak our truth, plant new seeds to bring new growth with music, sweet music that heals. What if music could heal white people who feel the only narrative is what we learn in school? And for a sacred moment we'd dispel the blinding darkness that perpetuates the madness of the hate that lives within, when we pretend that we're the only ones alive. Oh, with music, sweet music that feels. Oh, 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 music, sweet music, oh, that heals. Yeah, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 18. Vibrate from the center of our lives. Move to the rhythm of connection, baby. Vibrate from the center of our lives. Move to the rhythm of connection, baby. Vibrate from the center of our lives. Move to the rhythm of connection, baby. Vibrate from the center of our lives. Move to the rhythm of connection with music, sweet music, oh, that feels. Oh, oh, oh. Music, sweet music that heals.
Wow. That heals. Sweet music that heals. I think we need a little sweetness in our world right now, Ben Thomas, and I think the world can benefit from your songs, your words, your soul. How can they reach you?
Ben Thomas Online, benthomasonline.com, or also on Instagram that way, or on YouTube, all as Ben Thomas Online.
And so if you send me that link as well, I'm sure this song
Mm-hmm.
is going to go up there, and we'll
Great.
provide it too for the Marilyn fans as well. And I know for Marilyn, I think healing was one of her biggest determinations in her life. She was always trying to better herself, and unfortunately back in that day it didn't have the resources that we have now and the proper treatments. They'll probably say this like 60 years from now, it's like, oh, those antiquated people back in the 1920s,
right.
Or 1920s, the 2020s, 1920s, right?
In the 2020s.
Yeah, the 2020s.
Yeah,
how weird.
totally.
It's so weird, the 2020s.
With their smartphones,
yeah,
without the embedded chips in our heads,
Exactly. So, but I just want to say thank you so much for sharing a little light. And for those of you that may be struggling, may be feeling hopeless, turn on Ben Thomas Online and some of his music, and it'll speak to your soul, speak to your heart. And I think that if all of us could just shift just a little bit and open our hearts, not just our heads, we'll all feel a lot better. So thank you so much.
Nina, thank you so much for having me. I'm honored to have this conversation with you and to be even a small part of your project. I love the work you're doing. Thank you.